Great. Okay. So it's good to have everybody on, a very warm welcome. And I am just going to do a share screen. That's good. That's great. And right. So very warm welcome, everybody. My name is James Sanderson from London, and I am a PMD, and this is my 30th year with the company. So I just can't believe I'm saying that, but it really has been and continues to be the most outstanding adventure I could ever have imagined. So it continues to be so exciting, and the best is yet to come. So if you're just starting now, we're only just beginning. I know it sounds strange, but we are only just beginning. So literally, I've just posted an event sheet from Dubai that have just been sent through, just showing, how we're now expanding really seriously internationally, and the world is our oyster. So you couldn't be starting at a better time. So what we're going to be doing just now for the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, is we're going to be talking through how you actually get started with our business. So the three different parts that we're going to be talking about. First of all, we're going to be talking about how to get started with your own personal website. Second part is we're going to talk about how you get paid. And the third part we're going to talk about is how you actually build your business. So good to have a pen and paper with you. Nothing that we're going to share is too complicated, but it's just good for you to know. Because what we find with all of this is that there are different stages of getting started. And it's fine to have the understanding, but the key thing is to have the belief. And once we have the belief, then we really get moving, because we have the confidence of knowing that this really, really works. So some people coming on the call today, you'll be thinking, well, I kind of think it works, but it maybe works for other people, but not for me. But look, frankly, this can work for absolutely anyone. And there's such a broad range of people that have become wildly successful with this that I'm sorry you don't have an excuse as to why this won't work for you, because it definitely can, so long as we apply ourselves. So just very quickly, just telling my story, I was invited along to see a presentation in 1987. So a friend of mine said to me, James, would you like to come and see a presentation? I was living in Dallas, Texas, and I went along on a Saturday morning to see a presentation of about 500 people there. This was before we even started on Juice Plus. And in actual fact, at that time, we were in the water business, making in-home bottled water, selling in-home bottled water systems. And when I got into the room, there were 500 people in the room. And I remember thinking to myself, how can all these people want to become plumbers? It seemed crazy. But then I began to realize that they had moved into or accessed the most extraordinary business proposition, which was creating a fantastic lifestyle for people, but most importantly, was creating for people freedom to do what they want, when they wanted, go where they want. And that to me was just such an extraordinary proposition. I thought, wow, this is amazing. So I sat there really, really excited by what I was seeing. But I kind of all the time in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh, I don't think I can do this. But I left thinking, well, if this works for other people, it must work for me. And so I came back then to the UK and I started going with it. My first year was, not easy, but I just kept persevering. I kept persevering. And gradually it picked up for me and picked up. And I created more and more momentum, to the point at which over the 30 years that I've been involved, I've turned over £50 million with the company. So it really is extraordinary. And this can work for anyone. And I have to say that I feel I'm the least likely person for it to work for. But in a funny sort of way, that was my strength. Because I felt that it wouldn't work for me or couldn't work for me, I applied myself, and therefore I became better than anyone else. So there's a lesson in there. So let's start straight into it now. And we're going to start now with how we use and how we access our own personal website. So I take it that everyone has got access to your virtual office. Yeah. So is everybody in their virtual office? Everybody knows how to get into their virtual office. So when you register, you would have been sent a username and a password, and that would have gained you access to your virtual office. In your virtual office, you would have your personal file, and on one of the 8 boxes, you would then access your personal file, and you would then go to websites, and you would find your own personal website. So what we're doing now is we're looking at our own personal website. This is my personal website. You can see my name in the top right-hand corner. Everybody has their own personal website. So what I do, as I alluded to earlier in the call today, is I have this personal website on my phone. Yep. And I have access to it at any time. So if I, for example, go into my phone now, I can see, I go into my notes, and it's immediately on my notes. Can you see that? So if I press the link, it immediately takes me straight into my site. Okay, slightly slow. Okay, you see that? Right, so it's just loading now. And yeah, so you can see that there. Yeah, so I've got that on my phone. So the really interesting thing about this is that, you know, it's something that we can use and talk through with anyone at any time. And if you just look to the side there, you can see some stuff there. So without further ado, Paula, can we just go through a little bit? Yeah. So Paula Wilkinson is, you know, very, very dynamic in terms of her growth and application to our business. And really, Paula, you are doing so well in terms of all of the different things you're investigating and mastering with our business. So just talk us through a little bit, if you can, about, if you could just talk about a little bit through how we find the science, so and what particular science we would look for. So I'm just going to do
you want to go to the shop as well, or are we going to do that?
Well, we're going to do that in a minute, yeah.
Okay,
but what I want to do first of all is I want to go to the clinical research.
Okay.
And we're just going to look at the science. Now,
so you've got. Go on.
Okay, so this is coming up now.
So you can see there, if you. We've got 37 gold standard clinical studies, and it's important that you make that, you tell people that, because then they don't think it's just a fly-by-night kind of product. You know, these have been over 25 years. And so if you go into your website and go under research and studies, it's got the full range of all the different studies that have been taken place.
Yeah, I mean, I can go into studies there, and it just shows it in more detail. You know,
and some people want more detail, and some people don't. They just want to know 37 studies backed by science. Fantastic. Some people want to know every single thing, and I think if you click on each one, it actually gives you the full papers as well.
Yeah. So what should I do? Go on to this one, perhaps?
Go back up a bit, James.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like where it actually had the list from each.
Right.
University. They're from your top universities.
Studies. Yeah. Okay, this is the one, isn't it?
The world. I think if you click onto each one, try it. It might not be on this one. If you click,
no, it doesn't.
All right, okay. It's in another bit. You can find it if you fish around. Basically, the main thing with your website is you need to get on it, like as James was saying, and you just spend a bit of time on playing around with it. This is your shop. You know, if you had your own business, you wouldn't not know what was in your shop. So you've got to be really, really familiar with everything about it. And then so you can, when you're talking to different people, everybody's got a different background, everybody's got different questions. You then are fully equipped to be able to answer people with these questions. And also you can guide people to the relevant things that you think that they're going to be interested in.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Paula. That's absolutely brilliant. So as Paula says, it's very important to look around and have a good view around it. But as we discussed before, it's so important to have this on our phone. I can't emphasize this enough, because you know, the moment you have a chance to someone in a coffee shop or somebody saying, I must show you what I'm doing. Oh, what is this? It's just so exciting. Look what this is. This is the way forward. I've got a business that's like virtual, and I run it from my phone. I, I mean, I can't tell you how exciting it is. And people say, really, what's it all about? And then you can say, well, look, there's my name at the top. And then we'll go through in a moment and talk in more detail about it. So why don't we talk now, first of all, Paula, why don't we just go to the shop?
Okay.
So you see the top right here. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody safe. So let's go to the shop, first of all, right? And should we just look at the capsules? What should we go to? The premium capsule?
Can I borrow your phone?
Sorry, can you put that on mute, please? Whoever's just come on. Is that?
Yeah, they're on. Yeah. Okay. So let's go down to the shop now. And what should we do, Paula? Capsule?
Go to capsules. So here, for example, is the Amiga capsules. So what it's got there is it's got a description about the capsules. It's also got the price, the monthly price there.
In pounds?
In pounds. I'll tell you in a minute how you can get to each country, because obviously there's 26 countries you might want to change. We'll go back to that in a minute. So it's got the ingredients there. You can click on the ingredients. We don't have to do all that now, but it's got everything there. So, and at the bottom, it's got how to, the monthly payment, or if people want to pay in full payment. Before you go through, you need to decide, get the information from your customer before you go any further, because some people like to pay monthly and some people like to pay in installments. It's slightly more expensive in installments, just by a few pounds, but it depends on the customer what they want. And it's just like Amazon. You basically click quantity of what you want, add it to the cart, and off you go. Now, I did see a memo from on one of the groups last week. I don't know if it's going to complicate it, but if you're making a multiple order, it's actually better to put it through on separate orders. The reason is because if a customer changes their mind or something happens or whatever, then it's harder to reclaim the whole kind of order and jiggle it around. So it's better if they're on separate orders.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
And then so here, look, you can see the full range of what we do. So you've got the, as I said, the Amigas. We've got the premium capsules, which is the 30 fruits and vegetables and berries. They're the best things to try and get in people's bodies, because that's what's going to give people their benefits. You've got the fruit and vegetable here without the berries. I don't know why people would want that, but anyway. Some people do. And then you've got just the berries on its own. Now, you can't just buy the vegetable on its own. You can't just buy the fruit. The only ones you can buy on their own is the berries. Now, you've got the chewables here, the trio, which is exactly like fruit and the capsules in 3. And again, the 2, and then the berries. And then we've got here all the shakes. Now, you'll get familiar with all these because there's a few different types, and it's basically vanilla and chocolate. And you can also now get them in a mixture of a box of the large pouches with 15 servings in, and some singular servings as well. So be careful that you give the right information to people. Say, did you want them to get them in with some single servings? You give proper customer service to people. And also, there's one-time shipment on this, and there's also not. So I always click on one-time shipment. And then you've got here all the bars as well. So again, just have a look through this. If a customer's doing this on their own, then, I always try to do it myself, to be honest.
Yeah. Should we just have a look and just show how to do a dummy order?
Yeah, go on, do that.
So, for example, let's say we look at the capsule. So I'm going to, so let's say someone wants a capsule order. So we go through here, and we've got the trio. And should we do that? And I'll press add to cart.
And you want to do it monthly, yeah? Okay.
Monthly,
so
right?
Do you need to put the quantity in there, or is it? Okay. Or is it just there?
I don't know. I think it's
just there. If it's you've got it.
Yeah. Okay, so add to cart. So that should go to add to cart.
It's very, very straightforward.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So I've actually put in 2 by mistake there. So anyway, never mind. So you go to the top checkout, and then you see there. So I'm ordering 2 capsules. So if we go to checkout there, I'm then putting in the details and the name of the customer to whom it's going. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk us through that, Paula?
Yeah, so you just put in, just as you would with any online order, the name of the customer, the address. You need to follow put in the one with all the stars. And then when it asks for the bank details, you need the long card number.
Yeah.
Followed by the expiry date. You don't need the number on the back. And then it is just as straightforward as that. It's totally, everything is explained there. There's nothing hidden there at all. If you can do Amazon, you can do this.
Yeah, and then you can see your name. So for example, your name would be at the bottom. Because we're working from my site, it says you were referred by Sanderson James,
Right.
James Sanderson. So it is nice to know that you can see that everything runs through seamlessly. My name's still at the top. Your name would still be at the top. It's a beautiful system, this, I have to say.
And can I just point out, if you are going to do a children's health study, your customer can't do the children's health study on their own. It's got to go through your back office. You've got to do that yourself and get the information of the child's date of birth. So you won't find the children's health study on the website. You will, but not on the shop.
No. So, for example, if you wanted to do a CHS, you would go back to the main site. So I'm now in my virtual office, right?
Yeah, go to customers.
Go to the children's
customers. Oh, okay. There. Yeah. I never do that one.
Okay, and then you would do it from there, and then you put the child's first name in and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, bearing in mind the CHS, and this is going to be very exciting for Christina in Dubai, and I know is that the children's health study is massive in terms of retention. So in America, they've got 80% retention. So 80% of their volume every month is repeating. And the reason for that is because they've got so many children on the program, on the product. So anyone looking to build an absolutely rock solid business, the more people can have on the CHS, the better.
Yes.
Good. All right.
Thank
There we go. So now, why don't we now? So we've done that of how to order product.
Can we do the country of the globe at the top? Just highlight the. Let me just get. You're on my screen there, so I just.
I'm just going to go back, and I think it'll come back up again in a minute. Yes. So here we are. So,
at the top.
So what are we going to do? We'll go to the countries now. So you'll see the top. We're going to go to the globe now. So you can see, what should we do? Change it to United States?
Yeah.
So if you, United States, so let's say you've got a customer in the US, right? You go like this, and then you choose the language, and hopefully it's going to be English. And what we'll see now is a slightly different site appearing, and we will see different prices. So for example, Paul, if you can just talk us through this.
So
if we're going to go on this one. So why don't we go on, imagining that we're now buying for, we're now signing up a customer in the US. So there are different prices now, you see.
And different names, James, because they're called Trio there, and they're called the Orchid and Garden and Vineyard blend, whereas we call them fruit, vegetable, and berry. Okay, so it's got the prices there, and everything is slightly different. And so also as well is if you're talking to an American person about the products, then obviously you'd send them the American site, but also about the business as well, because it's all relative to them. It's in their language. You'll see the videos. There's more. I think last time I looked at the American one, there was loads of really good videos from doctors, leading doctors there. So it's really good to have a little look around at the American one as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that we've got to bear in mind about the business really is that in the US, it's very, very medical and doctor orientated, which is, I think, is huge for us because, sometimes in the UK it gets very weight loss orientated, and that's not really where the company lives. The company really lives in the whole place of, health and nutrition. That's really where it lives. We don't live really in the weight loss scenario, but we're happy to be there.
No.
Obviously it communicates with people our bigger message.
James, can we go back onto our UK site at that great video that I always send to people?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll now go back into, and of course the other thing that's very interesting about this is that once we're in the US, of course, if I may just say, we go into the Tower Garden. So remember, we're also excited about the Tower Garden, but we can order the Tower Garden for people in the US. Honestly, this is so extraordinary. And this is all from our phone. I mean,
Wow.
ludicrous. So let's now go back, right, Paula? Thanks very much. So we're now going back to we're going back to the UK site now. So we're going to go back to the UK, yeah, and that's going to change very quickly. We're now
So
back.
it's a good idea to look through those countries as well, everyone, just because,
Yeah.
you know, when you're talking to a new person, and then at least you know what countries we cover.
Yeah. Good. So where do you want us to go now? You want us to look at
So
the
if you just go down and where it's got the picture of the fruits here, go back. No, here. If you click on this, the fruits and vegetables here, right? I do it on my phone. Let's say I can't do it obviously because okay. And then if you press it again, if you click it again on the photo, can you click on the photo? There's an amazing video, and it only lasts about a minute or two.
Let's have a look.
His eating habits are, well, this is Clara. She works for us. Great. This is Mary. She's a mum. And Anna. She's trying to live healthily every day. And this is Juice Plus. We make that, and we are very proud of it. This is Bill. He grows the cranberries that go into Juice Plus. He picks them just for us, fully ripe, straight from his fields to our drying facility, as fresh as possible. We trust Bill. And David. He grows parsley for us. But just so you can too, we made it official. This is carrot, broccoli, parsley, tomato, raspberry, apple, spinach, papaya, cabbage, beetroot, garlic, artichoke, blackberry, pomegranate, ginger. Well, you get the idea. There are 30 fruits and vegetables that go into Juice Plus. That's right, 30. The vitamins and phytonutrients in them keep your body healthy and your immune system going every day. Now, back to Bill's cranberries. They are full of nutrients and antioxidants like vitamin C. Vitamin C helps protect the cells in your body against oxidative stress. We also have some studies. Okay, lots of studies. Yes, we may be obsessed, but it makes us the most researched nutritional product on the market. And why do you need it? Because, if we're honest with ourselves, we don't always eat right. We just don't. Remember Oliver and Anna? Yes, even Anna slips up from time to time. Juice Plus helps you to bridge the gap between what you do eat and what you should eat every day. It's as simple as that. Juice Plus, the next best thing to fruits and vegetables.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it really is fantastic. And, you know, we've got such a professional presentation to show people. How could anyone say no? I mean, frankly, how can anyone say no when they see this? And so we need to have the confidence of knowing where to go to be able to show people this wonderful information. Okay, so let's come out of that now. And Paula, if you can now talk us through the other side of this, of course, which is signing someone up, registering someone up as a new franchise partner.
So what you need to do is at the top you can see it saying Juice Plus and franchise, where James is pointing to.
Okay, so we're just going in there now. So now what we do is we're changing this to a different site. And so, Paula, where do we go now from here to register someone as a franchisee?
So if you go to the bottom of the page.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you do it there. Okay, go to the business model and then franchise part sign up. And then if you just scroll down and you can follow through here, put the name of the person who wants to sign up into your business, their details basically, and you just follow that. It tells you what to put in, and then you just go on to next until you have all the information in. Once all of that is submitted, your new franchisee partner, your new teamie, will get an email with a login and a sign up and all the information, which will then enable them to set up their own website, and off they go. Okay, so this is how you set someone up.
And so within an hour, someone will get with a couple of hours, they get their username and password, and then they're into their virtual office. And then they're able to then put their personal website on their phone, in their notes, and they're up and running.
Yeah, I mean, what a simple way of starting a business.
Yeah.
In an hour, in 5 minutes, you can start.
And for £50, and the really exciting thing about this is that you never know what each person is going to do and is capable of. And we mustn't. One thing I've learned is we mustn't judge someone else's capability on the basis of what we believe is possible for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes. We mustn't do that because there are so many other people that are out there that have got different skills, different people they know,
different mindsets.
Anything is possible. I mean, so we must never limit ourselves. And this is, I find, is so exciting because, you sign someone up and they can go off like a rocket.
Yeah.
Or they never do anything and that's fine. It doesn't matter. But, there's always that exciting possibility that something great is going to happen. And frankly, if we just keep working the numbers, it will.
Yeah.
It will. As we discussed on the call this morning, Paula was saying, I've done my 2 today. And what was she meaning? She'd made her 2 new contacts of the day. We do that, and we're talking to 60 people a month. We can't fail. Can't fail.
Yeah.
So that's very good. So how many people, has pretty much everyone signed up a customer online or not? Pretty much everyone, or everyone has?
Yeah.
No. What about signing people up as distributors? Some people have, some people haven't. So this is as you can see, it's a very easy thing to do. But before we move on from this, should we just ask some, any questions that anyone wants to ask about these things we've shown?
I wanted to recap how you. Sorry, because I was sticking it on my notes when you showed how to get that video up.
Right. Okay.
So I wasn't paying attention.
Go onto the homepage of the Juice Plus, just Juice Plus.
Yeah, so we're now in here.
It's where it's got the picture of, if you scroll down to the picture of the fruits and vegetables, 3 premium cups, just click onto that and there's a video.
Oh, right.
And then we click on this and hopefully it won't start, but
okay.
There we go. So there he is. So again, what I do is I copy that into my notes on my phone.
Yeah.
So this is a very good
page.
Because it's critical to be able to send these things to people in an instant.
Mm.
And again, we're out there to, who can I serve today? Who can I serve today? So suddenly we come across someone, we're talking to them on a subway, or a friend rings up that we haven't seen for ages or whatever, and they're talking about some issue they've got, and we can just say, I think I might have something for you. Let me send you something I'm terribly excited about. I've got such great results for myself, my family. All right. So that's that. Right. So I think we've made that pretty clear. As Paula was saying, it's so straightforward to do this. But we just need to know where everything is. That's
why you need to put the time in to get familiar with it. And also as well, is what some people do in America is when they send people the website, they actually offer to do a web walk, which is you can speak to the person on the phone and you can walk them through it, kind of like what we're doing now, but you can do that with your prospects as well.
Yeah,
that's so nice.
And the thing that we've got to realize now is that, the communications is so unbelievable now that if we master Zoom and Skypes and Messenger and all that, it's so incredible things we can do, and we can pass information to people so quickly now. Whereas before we'd have to keep copies, and that people would have to come to trainings and all that. And of course, the trainings and conferences are so important, but we can impart information to people in a nanosecond now. And that's the skill that we've got to work on. All right, so that's that. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to look at how we actually get paid. So I've got to go back a moment and right, okay, so I've got to come out of that.
Let's get rid of him.
Yeah, I've got to get rid of him.
We've had enough of him now.
Hang on. Right, so I've got to get rid of him, and now I'm going into this.
Back in your nice room.
Yeah.
Penelope.
Okay, so that's it. So, right. So what we're doing now is we're going to talk about how you actually get paid with Juice Plus. Aha, right. So this is how we get paid. Yeah, and I'll endeavour to make this as interactive as possible. But anyway, this is how we get paid. So there are 4 ways that we make money in our business, and we could talk about all these other things, but I'm actually not going to go into that too much. We're just going to talk about the 4 ways that we make money. So there are 4 ways. The first is retail. The second is team building. The third is building clubs, and the fourth is building a network. Yeah. So when we look at the retail side, we earn between 10 and 20% on the sale of each product that goes out. And bearing in mind, we're not handling the product. This is the company paying us. They're doing everything. They're just paying us the profit. I mean, when you think about this, this is really, really extraordinary. So when we start, everyone starts at the 10% profit, and then we move up to the 20%, which is the maximum. And some people ask, well, how do I get to the 20%? Well, you become a sales coordinator. That's all you need to be thinking about. I need to become a sales coordinator. So then you're on the 20% profit. And that means that when you're at the sales coordinator level, you can earn up to £120 a year from each premium customer that you have. So, you know, you only have to have 10 customers who are earning the premium, and to be sales coordinator, to be earning over £1,000 a year. So, you know, there's a lot of money to be made here. And a lot of the time people don't take the action that they could. It's because they don't kind of understand how they can make the money. So let's move on from there. Now, so just to paint a picture for this, if we develop 2 customers a month for a year, we would earn £2,500 a year, i.e. 24 customers. If you've got 4 customers a month, you would earn 5,000 a year, 6 customers, 7,500, 8 customers is £10,000 a year. Wow, 8 customers. But that's whatever it is, 96 customers. So some people say, well, God, that seems an awful lot. But then I was at an event in Essex some time ago, and someone there was there called Cassie Smith, who's very, very active on Facebook. And I said to her, Cassie, tell us, how many customers have you developed in 1 month? What's the most number? And what would you think she said? She said 230.
That's insane.
She said 230. So obviously that is exceptional. And we're not saying that everybody can do that by any stretch of the imagination. But when I said earlier that we mustn't limit ourselves by our perception of what we can do and superimpose that on other people. Because there are some people out there with the most extraordinary connections, the most extraordinary audiences of people already in place that can do things wildly and way beyond anything we can imagine. All right. So when I was first shown this, I thought, okay, well, this looks kind of very interesting. But then someone said to me, but you know, we can work smarter rather than harder. And I thought, oh, well, what is that all about? And they said, well, why don't you start thinking about building a team? So some people always say, oh, well, I just want to develop customers and I won't really bother about the teams. And I would say, well, yes, okay, that's a nice idea, but you're actually making things a little bit more difficult for yourself. So if we develop a team of 3 people and each of us have got 24 customers each, then we're now earning £800 a month or £10,000 a year. So that's the equivalent of us having 96 customers ourselves, but we've actually now only got 24 customers ourselves, and we've got 3 people each with 24 customers, and now we're earning £10,000 a year. I mean, it is really extraordinary when you think about it. You know, £800 a month makes a hell of a difference for people. Completely, you know, again, this is residual income. But it gets better than that. So if we move on from that, if we've got 12 people each in our team with 24 customers each, then we're earning £2,500 a month or £30,000 a year. Wow. I had someone on the phone yesterday and they said they wanted to give up their job in a year's time. And I was talking them through how to get started. I said, it's perfectly possible. He said, how much do you want? I said, how much do you need to be earning? He said, I need to be earning between £1,500 and £2,000 a month. I said, well, you just need to have, we're going to be needing to have about 10 partners with you, working with you with 24 customers each. He said, okay, I get it. You know, and often once you see it, you can have it. That's the thing. So then the other really interesting side of this is the networking side. So for example, let's say that I get going, you know, and develop 3 people, but then they each develop 3 and they each develop 3. I would end up with 360 people in my team. Now, if each of those people just only have a product order of £100 each, now we're not everybody's going to have a product order of 100, but it's just easier for the figures, then I would be earning £1,000 a month or nearly £13,000 a year just by having a network with 1 order each. Now, this is up and above everything else that we've talked about so far. Yeah?
Yeah.
However, if each of these people had 24 customers each, again, it's slightly, you know, it's not going to always happen like this at all, right? But let's say it did, we'd be earning £13,500 a month or £162,000 a year. Now, all totally hypothetical. We're not saying that this is, you know, achievable, or it is achievable, of course,
Yes.
like everybody's scenario, but just to give the illustration. And when I saw this, I could see an opportunity somewhere between everybody having 1 order each and everybody having 24 customers each. So we begin to see how really, really exciting this is. We begin to see how some people would decide, I am going to start working on this day and night. I'm going to go for this 24/7 because I see where it can take me. That's some people's viewpoint. A lot of people don't do that because they never see over the mountain. They never see the land beyond the mountain of what this can achieve.
Yes.
So they never really ever get started.
Yeah.
However, if I've now not just got 3 people each in my team, but I decide to talk to 5, well, then I end up with, we end up with 3,900 people in our team, just by having 2 other people here. So if we look at that, what's the scenario? With each person's got a £100 order each, we've got 11,000 or £12,000 a month income, £140,000 a year. Oh my goodness, if each person has 24 customers each, we've got 146,000 a month or 1.75 million. Crazy. But these figures have already been achieved. So there are people that have already done this. So we can't say, oh, it's impossible. There are people that have already achieved it. So what we're saying here is that it's so important that we can show people the numbers, show people the figures, or at least allude to them, so that, again, we're not judging it by what we think we're capable of. We are effectively sharing with everybody the opportunity.
Yes.
And it's up to them what they want to do with it.
I think it's just showing the opportunity. Yeah.
Showing the opportunity. So for this chap who I was talking to yesterday, he said, look, I need to leave my work. I need to leave my work. You know, I need to have more time at home. I want that. And I said, well, this is it. This is your opportunity. What people are prepared to do with it is another matter. You know, Bob Burdick, who's my sponsor, he said, look, we were broke enough to get rich.
Yeah.
Which is a very interesting statement, because a lot of us are a little bit too comfortable.
Yeah.
Absolutely go for it.
So James, just to recap on that. So say someone wanted to earn an extra £10,000 a year, with all those things added together, not from each one. Okay. What would they ideally need to do?
What, to do this, to make this work?
To make, say, £10,000 a year. Like, how many team would you think they would want? Like,
well, to be earning, to have £10,000 a year, you've got to have three teams.
Right. Just to show people that it's not, you know, just to put it into kind of...
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, the thing is that some people will say, I mean, for example, Emma Caron, who's one of the biggest earners in our business, right? She said, you know, she was a single mother living in a tower block. she said if someone had shown these figures to her straight away, it would have blown her out. She would have said, forget it, it's a get-rich-quick scheme, I'm not interested. So we have to be quite sensitive about the way we share this with people.
Yes.
He
yes,
said,
yes.
all that someone said to her was, Emma, I can show you how to make an extra £500 from your phone. She said, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. And she got to work. She got to work. So, you know, it's on a need-to-know basis, this, I find, with people. You know, if someone asks a question, like Paula just said, how do I earn £10,000 a year from this? We need to be able to go straight out and say, if you have a team of 3 people and each have got 24 customers each, you'll earn £10,000 a year. Bang. If you have a team of 24 people, each with 24 customers, you'll earn £2,500 a month or £30,000 a year. Bang. Got to be able to come out with those figures so that people go, what? You know, and so people can begin to grasp what this is all about. We also have to be able to say, look, you can earn up to £120 a year from each customer. When actual fact, you could potentially earn more because people may have not just the premium, but more. But if you give an example of just the premium, they can earn up to £120 a year from each customer. I mean, that's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back now. And let's go back and we'll unshare this, stop the share. And we are going to go back into, right, so here we are. So we've got no more slides at the moment. But what I want to do now is just talk through what we ideally are going to be doing to build our business, right? So ideally, what are we going to be doing to actually build our business? So the first thing that we've got to be doing is we've got to develop a funnel. We've got to have some type of funnel of people that we are talking to. Yep. And as Paula spoke to us this morning, right? We ideally are making 2 new contacts a day. Now, my viewpoint is because I've done everything offline and everything I've achieved is offline, I'm very hot on making sure that everybody builds offline and online at the same time. And the reason, and I'd say it's like wings on a plane. You want to have both wings running, not just one. Some people that are very, very good on social media can function with social media in isolation and do brilliantly well. Other people who don't really understand so much about social media can get lost on social media and can find themselves not making any progress at all. So to be sure about this, it needs to be offline and online. So what we encourage everybody to do, and for example, I spoke to this chap last night, I said, Peter, you've got to make, you haven't got to do anything, but I would recommend that you make a list. And I explained to him that when I started, I made a list of 20 people. And I was very proud of myself. And my sponsor said to me, James, that is hopeless. You've got to make a list of at least 100 people. So that's what I did. And what I did was I wrote a list of 100 people and I didn't prejudge. So I wrote down absolutely everyone. And it means we write down Granny, Auntie Sue, Uncle John, because it's a memory jogger. And then suddenly we think, oh, I remember meeting once Uncle John's neighbor. Yeah. And Uncle John's neighbor is a real entrepreneur. Ah, right. Well, I need to put Uncle John's neighbor down as well. So we end up with a vast list of people.
Yeah.
And so, for example, I wrote a list and the best person I've ever sponsored was number 66 on my list. Hadn't seen him for 11 years. Didn't even have his telephone number. Was so nervous to make the call. When I called him, I had to stand up. But he came in. Eventually, he came in. And he did fantastically well. And frankly, that one telephone call made me a lot of money. But also, it was such fun as well. So, we don't want to overlook the offline scenario. And frankly, I am adding to my list all the time. Yes. I'm meeting people all the time and adding to it. I met a builder this morning at my house and I'm thinking, yeah, he's got to go on that list. So there are people around us all the time. But I want to talk very quickly, and Paula, I'd like to bring you in now. Paula? Yeah. I'd like to bring you in now, very much on the social media side, because you have really applied yourself so much to social media. And I mean, you've got to be the #1 star student, because you all the time you think to yourself you can't do things and you plow into it and then you master it. So can you talk us through a little bit about your journey into social media and where you are at with it now?
Well, with social media, the problem is, well, the thing is, or the fun about it is, it's an ever-changing game. So you've got to keep up on the ball, really, and what's going on. So really, what you need to do on social media is what you do offline. So you don't just plow into somebody offline and say, "Hi, come and join my business," or something like that. You don't just go straight in. So it's exactly the same. Is trying to build a relationship with people. So the best way of doing that is to join groups of things. So if you want to write this down, think of 5 things that you're really passionate about in your life, or things that kind of are in your life. So say you're a mom, say you're a keep fit person, say you like gardening and you'd like to join a gardening club, whatever it might be, write down what it is. And then kind of you need to join groups that are to do with this, these groups. And then you want to be attracting your tribe, because if you're attracting people that are like you, right, then when you start talking about what you do on your page, on your page and on your Facebook, then they're naturally going to like what you do, because they're the same kind of people, the like-minded people. So if you're like, I saw this in Liverpool last year. So there was a guy on the stage who was a keep fit fanatic, a bodybuilder, and his girlfriend was a horsey, kind of, she worked with horses. And he said, I wouldn't join a horse club because I wouldn't have anything in common with these people. You've got to keep it with, what you're doing. And then what you do is you just post on your Facebook about you. You need to be authentic and real and be yourself. So you don't look at someone else's page and think, oh, I'm going to do what they do, because that's not you. You need to put your personality out onto your page. So it's kind of your shop window, and people are buying from you and not from Juice Plus, if that makes sense, because they can go anywhere to buy Juice Plus. So you need to build up a relationship and trust with people.
Yeah, so that's brilliant. So, thank you, Paula. I mean, we have to have a funnel. I have to have a funnel.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it comes from, whether it's offline or online. We have to be interacting with people. And this is a numbers game. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
So the more people we talk to, the more likelihood we have to hitting and finding the really good people. And at the end of the day, we are seeking simply to find people who basically need us. They need us. They're looking for us. Yeah. And we have to attract them to us. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Now, in the simplest possible terms, and this is a very, very simple business. Again, we're looking to develop a funnel. So, if someone's brilliant on social media, I'd say, that's your funnel. Fantastic. That's your funnel. If someone's not so good on social media, I say, well, social media is an option for you, but your funnel needs to come from your offline very strongly. And people have made a fortune through offline. I mean, I've done everything offline. If you meet, for example, a doctor or a healthcare professional, I'd say, hey, your patients are your funnel. That's great. Yeah. That's absolutely great. You've got your funnel in place. Let's say I'm talking to a beauty therapist. I say, great. Your clients are your funnel. So all the time, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to help people develop a funnel, and we're also seeking to help people understand that they have to take massive action to achieve the results. So, the best description I can give to people is a plane taking off. When a plane takes off, you sit on the runway, and the pilot gives it absolutely full power to take off.
Yes.
So imagine the scenario if the pilot said, right, hey everybody, you're sitting on the tarmac ready to go, and you're literally just your next plane to take off, and the pilot says, okay everyone, we're going to take off, but we're going to be able to give you some money back at the end of the flight. And people go, "Hey, great! I've got more spending money, great!" And he said, "What we're going to do is we're going to pull the power back, and we're going to really take off. And then just as we've taken off, I'm going to throttle right back, so that we can save money on the fuel. But I've got to tell you, hopefully we will be able to survive this. But no one's ever achieved this before. So what are we all going to be doing? We're going to be getting out of our seats, running for the door, trying to get off the plane, because we know we're going to crash." But in the same way, you see, it's very often we attempt a takeoff with our business, with Juice Plus.
Yes, we do.
So we don't really give it full power. And some people say, "Well, how long have I got to give this full power?" You've got to give it full power until you get above the clouds. Some people have got more fuel in their engine already, and they will get up faster than you. But everybody can get above the clouds, everyone. But sometimes we have to apply ourselves more. We have to, give it that much more impetus to get up above the clouds. But everyone can get there.
Absolutely.
So, it's very, very important, really, that to give ourselves a really big push, we have to work on 90-day plans. And that is that every 90 days we say, right, I'm setting a new plan now. So we're in the midst of a 90-day plan, right, from January to March. But you can start that anytime. And you say, I'm going to work as hard as I can for the next 90 days and see where I get to. And then once we've got up to that next level, hopefully anyone can become sales coordinator within 90 days. Then we set up another plan to go all the way up. And gradually, through a series of 90-day plans, we will achieve our goal. So that's the critical thing. So in summary, what are we doing here? Well, all our business is all about is just four things. We share the product. We share the business. We invite people to events. And we teach other people to do the same. That is all we do. We share the product. We share the business. We promote, invite people to events. And we teach other people to do the same. And we just do that over and over again. And we do that online, offline. Now, my sponsor, Bob Burdick, he would say to me, "James, he said to me when I first started, "James, what is the biggest paying activity of our business?" What do you think it is? Is it sharing the product? Is it sharing the business?
Events.
Or is it inviting people to events? Yeah. Inviting people to events is the biggest paying activity of our business. Because when people observe events, whether that be online or live, offline, people get a realization and their belief is clicked and they get it. And that is where the real big progress comes. So we're just going to finish now with a quick promotion of upcoming events. So, tomorrow, Wednesday night in London, we've got Dave O'Brien. So Dave O'Brien is speaking in London, and he is the oldest person ever to have done the 4 desert marathons. Incredible story, and he did it all with Juice Plus. So he's speaking on Wednesday. I'm inviting lots of people to that. I think it's such a wonderful thing that we can invite people to because it's just so inspiring. So then this coming Thursday evening, we have an online presentation of the products and the business at 8 o'clock UK time or 9 o'clock Central European time.
Right.
Or unfortunately midnight in Dubai. Sorry, Christina.
But it's great. It's great. Don't worry.
Okay. And so that will be very inspiring. And again, it's really, I'm working as hard as I can to get people onto that. Then the following Tuesday in London, on the 20th, we have an event which is like a boardroom style event. So literally, we've only got, it's only room for about 15 people, but it's a very, very good format. So we have a TV screen, and we have a table, and it's a very nice, intimate scenario. So that's what we're doing on the 20th in London. But then, most importantly, we've got our very, very huge conference event on the 28th and 29th of April in Birmingham. So, Patrick, if you're there now, Patrick, yeah, I'm going to ask you now to come on and just tell us a little bit about your feeling when you first went to a big conference and what that really did for you.
First time I went at the conference, it was what do you call it? Own business owner.
Yep.
And I struggled with paying my bills. And then when I saw this, I thought, is it possible to make money on this? And I saw all these people that went up on stage and had changed their lives. So when I gone to bed that night, I felt really happy to finally got something that my English, you know this.
Yep.
Real happy to found something that's all up to me.
Yes.
It's up to me, and all these people are around me to inspire me and help me to build up myself.
Great.
So it was great. It was a fantastic feeling.
Good. Well, Patrick, thank you very much for sharing that, because I hope that everyone would be encouraged about, obviously, it's a no-brainer and non-negotiable in a sense that if we're really in this to build this, then we all have to be in Birmingham. You know, other than any sort of life-changing event, we have to be there. But most importantly, you know, we need to be having people there, because building through exposing people to our business is by far the most effective way of building our business, through people coming to the big events. And if we think back to the whole growth of the business in the UK, where Alex Hamer-Webb was coaching John Holowati. John had no prior success with the business at all, can you believe? Alex said to him, John, book 10 rooms in Rome. Book 10 hotel rooms in Rome and fill them. And one of those people was Katie Ravey.
Sorry, I'm getting your break.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, so I know, I faded out there. I'm going to repeat it. So Alex Hamer-Webb was coaching John Holowati to really make progress in the business. And this is before Katie Ravey started. And Alex said to John, book 10 rooms at the Hilton Hotel or whatever it was in Rome and fill them. One of those people was Katie Ravey. She went on to transform the whole of our business. One person went on to transform the whole of our business. So again, I'm saying a sort of big picture, you know, a sort of, some people might say, well, that all sounds a bit extreme and everything. And this might not fit in with your goals. So you might think, well, actually, James, I don't want to build on this massive scale. I just want to be earning £500 a month, or, you know, and that's fine. But I'm just giving the instance of what can happen and the mindset that we need to have to really make this work. So that's really everything for today, everyone. Thank you very much indeed for coming. This is going to be, it has been recorded, so I'll send this out to you. I think it's fantastic, this, because Dan Furlong about 10 minutes ago said, James, I can't make it on the call. But we've done something totally different today, and I think it's been great. So thank you, everyone, for your participation. Thank you, Paula, for coming on and being so brilliant and really adding so much to the call today. And thank you, everyone, for participating. And, you know, we're making history. You're making history in your own life. We're making history for all the people around us. So look forward to seeing everybody, ideally, on the call on Thursday night for our product and business presentation Zoom. And the details are all online. And look forward to seeing you then. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. And look forward to seeing you at another wonderful, exciting event very soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Take care, everyone. Bye.